My girlfriend and her family laughed at my poetry writing at a family dinner. They don't know I just signed a $180K book deal under a pen name. I've been with my girlfriend Lauren for about 3.5 years now. I'm a union electrician, been doing industrial work for the past decade. Good money, solid benefits, the whole deal. But I've also been writing poetry since college. Started doing spoken word stuff about 5 years ago, posting it online under a pen name. Small audience, maybe a few thousand followers across platforms, but they're dedicated. It's always been my thing on the side. Lauren knew about the writing when we started dating. Actually seemed into it at first. Called it artistic and sensitive. Said it was refreshing compared to the other guys she dated. Her family's different though. Real estate money country club types. Her dad's got that corner office energy, you know. Her mom does charity galas. Sister married a corporate lawyer. They're not bad people, just very focused on appearances and career trajectories. So last Saturday was her dad's birthday dinner. Nice steakhouse downtown, the kind with cloth napkins and a wine list thicker than a phone book. Whole family there, plus some family friends I'd never met. Everything's going fine until one of her dad's golf buddies asked me what I do. I told him I'm an electrician. Union work, commercial and industrial sites. He nodded, seemed interested enough. Then he went, "And what do you do for fun?" Before I could answer, Lauren jumped in. She got this smile on her face, the kind that didn't reach her eyes. "Oh, Daniel writes poetry. He thinks he's going to make a living at it someday." The whole table went quiet for a second. Then her dad chuckled. "Well, we all need hobbies, right?" Her mom did this sympathetic head tilt thing. Her sister's husband actually laughed out loud. "Poetry? What is this, the 1800s?" Lauren kept going. "He stays up until 2 in the morning sometimes, writing and recording himself reading it into his phone, like spoken word poetry or whatever. I keep telling him it's sweet, but he needs to be realistic about what actually pays bills. But you know how artists are." She said artists like it's a diagnosis. Her dad raised his glass. "Well, we all need our little hobbies, right? Just make sure the poetry doesn't interfere with the real work, son. Can't wire a house with metaphors." Everyone laughed. Hard. I just nodded, smiled. Said something about how electrician work keeps me busy anyway. Changed the subject to the Packers game. Spent the rest of the dinner listening to Lauren's brother-in-law talk about his latest case and her dad's golf handicap. Lauren was extra affectionate on the drive home. Kept saying how proud she was that I handled that so well, and how I'm finally understanding that the poetry thing needs to stay a hobby. I didn't say much. Here's the thing though. 2 weeks before that dinner I got an email. Small independent publisher, works with an audio platform. They'd been following my spoken word stuff for about a year. They wanted to buy exclusive rights to a collection I'd been working on. Wanted to release it as both a book and an audio experience, market it through their literary podcast network. They sent me a contract. It's sitting in my email right now, unsigned. The advance is $180,000. Not quit your job money forever, but more than I make in 2 years of running conduit and pulling wire. They want to use my pen name, D.B. Rowan. Nobody would know it's me unless I told them. I was going to tell Lauren about the offer that weekend. Had planned to show her the contract and celebrate with her. Then Saturday happened. Now I'm not sure what to do. Part of me wants to sign it just to prove a point. Part of me thinks I should tell her first, give her a chance to be supportive. But another part of me keeps hearing her laugh at that table the way she said realistic, like my writing was a child's fantasy. My finger's been hovering over that accept contract button for 3 days now. Not sure what I'm asking for here. Maybe just needed to get this out. Thanks for reading. Edit. Wow, didn't expect this to blow up. Reading all your comments. A lot of you are asking why I'm still with her. Fair question. It wasn't always like this. She used to come to my readings back when we first started dating. Something changed about a year ago, right after her sister got engaged to the lawyer. Lauren started making more comments about our future and whether I was serious about building something real. I thought she meant our relationship. Now I'm not so sure. Edit 2. To answer the most common question. I haven't told anyone about the contract except my brother, and he just said sign that shit and see what happens. He's never liked Lauren much. Update 1, so I signed it. Didn't tell Lauren, didn't make a big announcement. Just opened the email, read through the contract one more time and clicked accept. Got the confirmation within an hour. First half of the advance hit my account 3 days later. $90,000. I stared at my phone for about 20 minutes when I got the notification. Opened a separate account at a different bank, transferred it all there. Haven't touched it. It just sits there while I keep going to work sites, crawling through ceilings, troubleshooting panel issues. Come home with drywall dust in my hair and Lauren asks how my day was. I tell her about the job. Don't mention the other thing. Last Tuesday we were having dinner at her place. She was scrolling through Instagram and showed me a post from one of her friends. Guy she went to college with just made partner at some consulting firm. This is what I mean about being serious, she said. Carter is 32 and he's already set for life. He didn't waste time on hobbies that don't pay. I just nodded. She kept going. I'm not saying you need to be Carter. But maybe you could take some business classes, get into project management or something. My dad could probably get you an interview at his firm. I told her I like what I do. Good union benefits, solid hourly rate, work is consistent. She did that thing where she sighs and smiles at the same time. I know, babe, I just want more for us, for our future. That word again. Future. Like she's got this whole plan mapped out and I'm not fitting into it right. Then Friday happened. We were at her place again. I was in the kitchen grabbing a beer when I heard her on the phone with her mom. I don't know, Mom. He's a good guy, but sometimes I wonder if he's ambitious enough. Nicole's husband is already talking about making junior partner. Even Rachel's boyfriend bought her a ring. Daniel's still writing poems at midnight like he's in a coffee shop open mic. She laughed when she said it. Not a mean laugh exactly. More like the laugh you give when something's mildly absurd. I walked back in with my beer. She got off the phone quick, asked if I wanted to watch a movie. We did, but I wasn't really paying attention. The publisher sent me the production timeline yesterday. They want to release the collection in 8 weeks. They've got a whole marketing plan. Podcast tour, some radio spots, maybe a feature in a couple of literary magazines. They're particularly excited about the audio version since that's what I'm known for. Lauren was sitting right next to me when I got that email on my phone. She asked if everything was okay. I said yeah, just work stuff. She went back to her book. I've been writing more lately. Can't help it. There's something about sitting across from someone who thinks they know you, who thinks they're dating someone simple and uncomplicated, who has no idea what's in your head or on your screen or in your bank account. It's all going into new poems. The publisher says they might want a second collection next year if this one does well. My brother came over Saturday to help me install new outlets in my garage. While we were working, he asked if I'd told Lauren yet. I said no. He just shook his head. Man, you're playing with dynamite here. Maybe I am, but I keep thinking about that dinner. The way she looked at me when she said I need to be realistic. The way her family laughed. The way she's been sending me articles about men who chase dreams instead of building stability and the importance of practical goals in your 30s. I'm not trying to prove anything. That's not what this is about. I just want to see how this plays out, see if she notices, see if anything changes. So yeah, that's where things are. Contract signed, money in the bank, book coming out in 2 months. And my girlfriend still thinks I'm wasting my time. Edit. To the people asking why I'm still doing the electrician work because I like it. Union benefits are solid. I've got good guys on my crew and the work keeps me grounded. The writing is important to me, but I'm not trying to become some full-time artist living in a loft. Update 2. You're not going to believe this. The collection dropped on Tuesday. Audio version went up on Spotify, Apple, all the streaming platforms. The publisher also got it featured on this NPR podcast that covers new poetry and spoken word. Pretty niche audience, but apparently they've got a solid following. Wednesday afternoon, I was at a job site. Phone was in my truck. Came down for lunch and I'd got about 30 text messages. Publishers blowing up my email. The podcast episode went viral. Not like mainstream viral, but literary world viral. 20,000 plays in the first day. Comments are pouring in, people sharing clips on social media. One piece in particular is getting passed around. It's a poem I wrote about 2 years ago, right after Lauren and I took that trip to Lake Michigan. We'd stayed in this cabin, spent a weekend just being together. No phones, no family dinners, no discussions about future plans, just us. I wrote about that feeling, about seeing someone just exist without performance, called it Cabin Light. That poem is everywhere now. Book clubs are discussing it. Someone made a whole video essay about the imagery. Friday night, Lauren came over to my place. She'd got her laptop, said she needed to show me something. We sat on the couch and she pulled up Spotify. "You need to listen to this," she said. "Everyone at work is talking about it." She played Cabin Light. I was sitting there listening to words I wrote about her, watching her listen to them without knowing they're mine. She started crying. Not like sobbing, but tears running down her face. When it ended, she rewound it and played it again. "This is beautiful," she said. "This is what poetry should be. Real emotion from someone who's actually lived, not that pretentious stuff you usually see." I was just sitting there, beer in my hand, watching her fall in love with my work. "Do you know who wrote this?" she asked. I told her no. "The artist used a pen name, D.B. Rowan. Well, whoever he is, he gets it. He actually understands women, understands what we want to hear." She wiped her eyes. "I wish you could write something like this. You can tell this is someone who's dedicated to their craft." I didn't say anything, just nodded. Took a drink. She played 3 more pieces, cried through 2 of them, kept pausing to tell me why each line hit her. At one point, my phone buzzed. It was the publisher. The audio version just hit 50,000 plays. They were talking about a second pressing of the physical book. Initial run sold out. Lauren didn't notice. She was reading comments on the podcast episode. Everyone's trying to figure out who this D.B. Rowan person is. Nobody knows anything about him, kind of mysterious. She looked at me. "You should listen to this. Maybe you'd learn something about how to make your writing actually connect with people." Yeah, right. Sunday afternoon, we were at her parents' house. Weekly family dinner, same as always. Her mom brought up the podcast. Apparently her book club played the whole episode in their meeting. "The man who wrote this understands the human heart," her mom said. She got her reading glasses on, scrolling through her phone. "True artistry. This is what happens when someone takes their gift seriously instead of treating it like a weekend hobby." Her dad nodded. "Read an article about it this morning." Finally, someone writing about real work and real relationships, not this academic nonsense you usually get. They spent 20 minutes dissecting my work, analyzing my word choices, discussing what kind of person I must be to write like this. Lauren's dad said, "This D.B. Rowan guy, whoever he is, he's probably worked a real job. You can tell he's not some trust fund kid playing artist. He's got dirt under his nails." I was sitting there eating roast chicken, just listening. Lauren reached over and squeezed my hand. She did that thing where she smiles at me with her head tilted, like she was trying to silently communicate something. Later in the car, she brought it up again. "Did you hear what my dad said? About the poet probably working a real job? That's what I've been trying to tell you. Art is fine, but it needs to come from a place of real experience and maturity. That D.B. Rowan person. He's probably our age, probably has a career and a life and writes as a way to process it, not as an escape from responsibility." I was driving, eyes on the road. "Maybe," I said. "You could be like that," she continued. "If you just stop trying to make the poetry into something it's not supposed to be." We got back to her place. She put the podcast on again. Fell asleep listening to my voice read her a poem. I was staring at the ceiling. She curled up next to me, her phone still playing my work. She's in love with D.B. Rowan. She respects D.B. Rowan. She thinks D.B. Rowan is mature and serious and professional. She was sleeping next to Daniel Brooks, the guy she told to be more realistic, the guy whose midnight writing sessions annoy her, the guy whose poetry is a hobby that doesn't pay. My publisher emailed tonight. They want to set up a radio interview, local station. It's scheduled for next Friday at 4 p.m. I told them yes. Lauren doesn't know yet. She'll be listening to that station on her drive home from work. She always does. I haven't decided if I'm going to tell her before Friday or let her find out the same way everyone else will, When the host introduces me by both names, Daniel Brooks, D.B. Rowan, we'll see what happens. Final update, so it happened. Friday afternoon, I drove to the radio station. The host was this woman named Lindsay, probably mid-40s, really enthusiastic about the collection. We did a sound check. She ran through her questions. Standard stuff: what inspired the work, what my process is like, where the pen name came from. Then she said, "We'll introduce you with both names if that's okay." People know the pen name from the podcast, but I think our listeners would appreciate knowing who's behind it. I told her that was fine, checked my phone. Lauren had texted me an hour earlier. "Leaving work soon. Can't wait to see you tonight. Maybe we can listen to more D.B. Rowan, still obsessed." The interview started at 4:15. Lindsay did her intro. Today we're joined by a poet who's taken the literary world by storm. His collection, Blue Collar Nights, has resonated with hundreds of thousands of listeners. Please welcome Daniel Brooks, who writes under the pen name D.B. Rowan. I watched the on-air light and started talking. We covered the collection. I read 3 pieces live. Lindsay asked good questions about the intersection of manual labor and art, about writing from lived experience, about keeping your day job while pursuing creative work. 20-minute conversation maybe. It went well. My phone started buzzing before the interview even ended, text after text, but I couldn't check it until we wrapped, walked out of the studio. 17 missed calls from Lauren, 23 text messages, 3 voicemails. I scrolled through the texts. The first one: "What the hell, then? Are you serious right now? Then, you've been lying to me for weeks." Then, "Everyone can hear this, Daniel. My whole office is listening. My mother just called me." I called her back. She picked up on the first ring. "You're D.B. Rowan." Her voice was shaking. Couldn't tell if it was crying or anger, probably both. "Yeah," I told her, "I'm D.B. Rowan." Since when have you been D.B. Rowan?" "Since always. It's a pen name. I've been using it for 5 years. She made this sound. Not quite a laugh, not quite a sob. "You've been sitting there, listening to me talk about your own work, listening to my family praise you while they look down on you, and you just, what? You were testing me." I told her I signed the contract 2 days after her dad's birthday dinner. Told her about the $180,000. Told her I wasn't testing her, I was trying to figure out how to tell her. And then it became clear she didn't respect Daniel Brooks, but she respected D.B. Rowan, and I needed to understand why they were different people to her. "That's not fair." Her voice went quiet. "You made me the villain. You set this up so I'd look like the bad guy." "I didn't set anything up," I told her. "I just didn't correct her assumptions." "For weeks, Daniel. Do you know how that makes me look? Do you know how humiliating this is?" I started to answer, but she kept going. "Everyone knows, my coworkers know, my family knows. They all heard that interview. They're all messaging me asking if I knew, asking why I never told them my boyfriend was D.B. Rowan. And I look like an idiot because I didn't know. My own boyfriend, and I didn't know." I told her I tried to tell her. That dinner, I had planned to tell her about the contract offer. But after what she said, after hearing her laugh and call it unrealistic, "So this is my fault," she cut me off. "I make one comment at a dinner and you decide to lie to me for 2 months. It wasn't one comment. It was months of comments. Articles about men who chase impossible dreams, telling me to be more serious, comparing me to her sister's husband and her friends' boyfriends. Acting like my writing was some embarrassing hobby I needed to outgrow." She went quiet. I could hear her breathing on the other end. "I was trying to help you," she finally said. "I was trying to push you to be more practical, to think about our future." "But you didn't want our future," I told her. "You wanted a different version of me, one that fit better at family dinners, one your parents could brag about, one that made you look good." Another long silence. "I need to go," she said. "I can't do this right now." She hung up. That was Friday. It's Wednesday now. Haven't seen her since. We've texted a little. She's staying at her parents' house. Says she needs space to think. Her mom called me Saturday. That was an interesting conversation. Started off apologetic. Said she felt terrible about the birthday dinner, about all the comments over the years. Then shifted to being defensive of Lauren. "You have to understand, she was trying to protect herself. She was trying to make sure you were serious about building a life." I told her I am serious. I have been serious. I have a union job with benefits. I have savings. I have a 401k. And yeah, I also write poetry. Those things aren't mutually exclusive. But you hid this from her, Daniel. I didn't hide it. I used a pen name, which is normal. I just didn't announce the contract because I wanted one person in my life to support me before they knew about the money. She didn't have much to say after that. Lauren's sister called Sunday. She was less apologetic, said I made her sister look stupid, said I'm holding a grudge over one family dinner and that's immature. I told her it wasn't one dinner. It was 3 years of watching Lauren slowly lose respect for a part of me she used to admire. It was countless small comments. It was being told to be more realistic, more serious, more like other people's partners. It was sitting at that dinner table and being laughed at for having a dream. You still should have told her, she said. Then she hung up too. My brother came over Monday night with pizza. We sat in my living room and didn't talk about it for a while. Then he said, "You know this relationship is done, right?" "Yeah," I said, "I know." "You okay with that?" I thought about it. About Lauren crying over my poetry. About her family praising my work while dismissing me. About her wanting me to be someone else, someone more impressive, someone she could show off. "Yeah," I told him. "I think I am okay with that." I moved some stuff out of Lauren's apartment yesterday. She wasn't there. Her mom let me in, grabbed my clothes, some books, my coffee maker. The whole time her mom kept trying to convince me to talk to Lauren to work it out, to understand where she was coming from. I do understand where she's coming from, I told her. That's the problem. Found a studio apartment about 15 minutes from my current place. Signed a lease this morning. It's smaller than Lauren's place, but it's got good light. Windows face east. There's a coffee shop downstairs. Move in Saturday. The publisher called yesterday. The collection sold 20,000 copies in 3 weeks. They're already talking about next steps. Want to discuss a second collection, maybe some live reading events. There's interest from a couple of bigger literary magazines about featuring some pieces. They asked if I wanted to do more press. I said maybe. Need to figure some things out first. Lauren texted last night. Long message. Said she's been thinking. Said she's sorry for making me feel unsupported. Said she loves me and wants to work through this. Said we could do couples counseling. Said she's proud of what I've accomplished. I read it twice. Started to type a response. Deleted it. Started again. Deleted that too. Here's what I keep coming back to. She fell in love with my work when she thought it was someone else. She loved the work but not the person who made it. And I don't think that's something counseling can fix. I haven't responded to her text yet. Not sure what I'm going to say. My first reading event is in 2 weeks. Tuesday night at a bookstore in Milwaukee. They're expecting a decent crowd. The publisher asked if I wanted to bring anyone. I told them maybe my brother. Someone from work found out about the book. Word spread through the crew pretty fast. Monday morning, guys were giving me shit about it in the best way. Dan's a poet and we didn't even know it. Gonna need you to write us some safety haikus. That kind of thing. My foreman pulled me aside at lunch. That's pretty cool, man. Didn't know you had that in you. Then we went back to planning conduit runs. That's the thing Lauren never understood. The writing doesn't make me less of an electrician. The electrical work doesn't make me less of a writer. They're both me. They've always both been me. So yeah, that's where things are. Single, moving into a new place Saturday, got a book doing well and a second one in the works. Still pulling wire and running conduit during the day. Still writing at night.